catch yet. Come on. Try again. What? Where is it? That's not it. That's past live.
Yep.
It's like, is
Last
that
week.
it? I was like, is that
Hard to tell. I think I'm wearing the same thing.
I've done that too. I'm like, what am I wearing? I actually have to try to plan my outfits a little better.
I was like, wait, is that right now?
Oh.
Now this is really weird. No, definitely
TV.
wearing the same thing, saying the same thing.
There's that. That's recording. I think we're already recording. Everything's already happening.
You got the overhead GoPro working too.
Yeah, somehow that's working. I mean, it's kind of weird. Everything's just...
It's a miracle.
Doing what it's supposed to do, I suppose. Let's do it. Knock on the wood.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
That actually makes me feel like I want a beer. Like you just brought some beers down here.
Yeah, for real. And I didn't notice that this says Finland on it from a Finnish reindeer, probably.
I forget. My in-laws got it from somewhere, and then they're like, "You should have this in your studio." Or maybe it's from my brother-in-law Drew. I think maybe he got it for them from Finland, and then ended up here because it's a deer antler with a bottle opener.
You want
so they're like, "Hey, you should probably have this in your studio, Eric." I'm like, "Yeah, I probably should."
You like catching these?
Yeah. My next brain hair scheme idea is to take our literal shape of our logo and turn it into a beer bottle opener as is somehow. So like, I don't know if it'll look like metal or I'm not really sure yet, but like the logo as you see it on the shirt, somehow this can be a bottle opener.
The old Papa Top.
I think we'll find out. I'm working with the best in the industry to get some answers and see what I can come up with.
Some R&D.
And who knows if we'll do it or not, because I have no idea what something like that costs or what the minimum order quantity is and all that stuff. But if it can work out, I want to do it.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Add that to our beer camp collection with our koozies and all that. We had new koozies coming up. I was working with our koozie guy out of Oregon who hand stitches these things. And I was like, hey, we need more red and green. And can we add blaze orange plaid?
Are you doing it?
We're waiting to hear back on what he's got.
That'd be cool.
For us, but I think...
Yeah,
I don't see why we couldn't,
Yeah,
but just keep slowly.
The red and green are a big hit, man. My parents love theirs. They got some up at the cabin.
Yeah, it's a good cabin thing for sure.
Perfect.
I mean, we sold out of them at the trade show.
Oh heck yeah, the Wisconsin one,
we sold every single one of them. No thanks to Keegan himself, actually. It's just like, come on, you need one of these. And people are like, okay. I was like, what? Well, I guess I should have been more aggressive.
Pushy salesman. Let's go.
Apparently. I mean, it wasn't that hard of a sell, but yeah, it worked out well. Anyway, we're brought to you by Half Rack. We just did our giveaway last week. We announced our winner. I believe it was Jimmy. So we shipped off everything to Jimmy, both the Half Rack guys and ourselves. So he should have a really sweet package in the mail by now.
Sweet package, Jimmy.
Sweet package, dude. Brought to you by Half Rack, Code OHP if you want to buy anything from those guys. Lots of accessories, lots of fun stuff. They brought a product to ATA called the Meat Lug, which is it's a cooler. So like they're not reinventing the wheel necessarily, but it's very large and it's a soft cooler.
It's not the one they brought here though, right? I don't think they had one.
No, he didn't have it.
He brought like a soft bag.
Did he bring the Meat Lug? I think he did.
Maybe it was.
Yeah. Bold colors, says Meat Lug on it.
Yeah, I think, we were talking about bringing it through the airport.
Yeah. And you can, like, they have a bigger, so that one will fit a whole 30 pack, but then they have a larger one where you can fit a whole quartered whitetail in that thing.
It's impressive.
So, when we were doing we were breaking down the turkey, that would have been a nice thing to have. Instead, we just stack plastic bags on the 3-foot stool that they have. 3 feet stool. It's not 3 feet tall.
3-footed. Stool.
3-footed stool. I was like, how do you
3
say
legs?
This? I'm like, 3-legged stool. There
3-legged.
We go. I was like, am I doing something wrong here? Yeah. So Latitude Outdoors just announced today, and I kind of said this last week too, but the Carbon Series Speed Sticks, which are they not? 19 ounces in total weight. 19 ounces per one. They're very stackable. They're very lightweight. They have paracord that attaches them to the tree, and they also have paracord aiders on them. So with 3 of them, I forget the price point off the top of my head right now. I apologize, but it's pretty affordable. It's a proprietary blend of carbon and plastic, but it's like the aerospace stuff. They really kind of just pulled a page out of aerospace engineering.
And to be clear, before you get anyone
by aerospace, I mean like
crapping
airplanes.
on you.
Yeah.
Am steel?
Yeah, what I say.
Paracord.
Oh,
it's a little different. We're not dealing with paracord. It is am steel, which is tested at like 3,800 pounds for this stuff they're using.
Yeah.
So
because
before anybody catches you,
we had that one post that did 1 million views on TikTok, and everyone's like, I wouldn't trust this over a fart and all this weird stuff. I'm like, it's am steel, not paracord. My God, for like.
It's okay. I knew what you were saying.
Thank you. I'm glad you knew and corrected me, because everyone else listening is like, oh my God, Eric, you're such an idiot. You said the wrong thing.
It's that Walmart 550 paracord.
Anyway, they're going to be ready to ship by end of this month. It is June 6th as we record this, so end of month is coming fast. So keep an eye out for that stuff. We'll be getting them ourselves, so we'll be able to have some fun and go in the backyard and get all set up with the platforms and all that jazz. So check that out. Spartan Forge, SpartanForge.ai. Use code OHP. Save yourself 20% on your annual subscription. Be sure to use the code. Like, you can try it out for free. I was just talking to someone with this. They were talking about, does Spartan Forge, do they have it for egg? Like, because a lot of bird hunters are looking for like there's a map layer in Onyx that will show you what was on the crop last year, and then alternate. So it's like, this will be this year. I'm like, well, I don't think they have a map layer for it, but they have the time feature where you can look at like April or last September or September of 2018 or whatever. So as long as that's available in that area, you can go look and literally see it. So I don't know that layer is super necessary if you know the area you're going to hunt. Although I suspect that anything that Onyx is doing, Spartan Forge will eventually do better, because that's how it's been going.
I didn't say it, he did, but probably true.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say that other than that's the cold hard truth. So
in the areas that they have it, when you can go back and pick specific dates, because some of them are like, you can get like pretty specific. It's not all areas, so it's not like the entire U.S. is covered in that yet.
No, they're working to they're just doing what they can as they can do it.
But in certain areas, you could look back and see not only like what they had in the fields, but like depending on the farmers and like what's in the crop rotation, not the quap, the crop rotation. Like some fields get picked sooner than other fields every year. So like technically you could look back if they had that data in that year of Spartan Forges, you could like look back and see like, oh, this one comes off super early October. They let it stand till 3rd week in November. Like you could literally look at that and figure it out probably.
Very, very valid.
I've not done that, but
I've talked about this before too. My boss was looking at an area and how like on Onyx it shows that it's totally woodland and hardwoods, and then on Spartan Forge it says, no, that's subdivision land, and there's excavators there now, and there's dirt being moved, and you can see it all.
There's driveways.
Like those trees are gone. Yeah. They've been cleared, and like, so again, it's one of those things where, yeah, sure, maybe it'll tell you the crop is ABC XYZ, but it could be completely effing wrong about what's actually happening there. So it's as close as you can get to boots on the ground without having boots on the ground. So I think there's some jokes around too. Like I think there was a clip from that was shared or posted on behalf. It wasn't them posting, it was someone else posting and tagging it, but it was like a drone showing deer laying in a field. And it's like, this is how good Spartan Forge is. But you can actually see deer in a field, which I've found. If you know, like there's a spot, whether public or private or whatever, if you know there's a field that deer frequent, go look at it on Spartan Forge. Hands down, you pan through enough of those annual slicing data points and scrub through the time frame or timeline, you'll see deer in the field. Like
you can usually see their shadows, like laying on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's like a really nerdy thing. Once we get into this map stuff, you just nerd out about it. Brian Douglas says he loves lamp, and I couldn't agree more. We love lamp too.
Lamp,
the salt lamp in here.
It's great lamp.
So, method archery. We were just talking. You got new arrows coming your way. I just got mine last week. I've yet to shoot any of them because I need to find time to go to the archery shop. And it's hard to shoot them here with the kids running around. I can't seem to get time away from them
ever.
And they're too young to like keep in one spot. Yeah,
I agree.
And my yard's not big enough to deal with that properly either. So, and if I could do it, it'd have to be like at the ass crack of dawn, and it's not going to work.
I liked yours so much. I went home and I was like, all right,
Here we go.
I gotta talk to Isaac and I gotta get my order in. And I did it the next day.
When are they showing up at your house? Do you know?
I'm not positive, but
Did you get the email confirmation at least?
I did not.
Oh, well,
so maybe I should.
You should go poke him.
Yeah, I'll go poke.
Yeah, go wild. Timetogowild.com. I don't know what they're doing right now. If there's any specials, or I know they gave away a side by side, or what are those things are called?
Yeah, the UTV.
UTV.
Side by side?
Yeah, I always say it wrong. What are those things called? Is it a side by side? Is that the correct
Yeah, I think
thing?
you can call them side by side.
Okay. Do you have a side by side at your cabin?
My dad does.
Do you like it?
I don't love ours, to be honest. It's cool, but all the heat from the engine comes up between the front seats and the back seats. So if your arm is up on the bench seat or you're sitting in the back seat, you're just getting blasted with heat the whole ride.
Wow.
And dust just sucks into those things. If you have the windshield up, the sides are open, all the dust just comes in and it's like cycloning in your face. My parents enjoy it when it's just the two of them because they can go bomb around. But if we bring the family, somebody's always cranky because there's dust in eyes and heat getting blown all over, and they're always cranky.
All right. Then.
So it's not we like to take the regular 4-wheelers; those are legal, street legal too.
Yeah.
So they like the regular 4-wheelers.
Got
Just get wind in the face.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah. No dust.
And mopeds. We ride mopeds a lot.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a good trip. Anyway, no, they gave that away. It was super decked out with everything. It was pretty cool. And I don't know, we post it regularly. I'm on there as a person, and we're on there as a brand. The thing that I've noticed is when you ask a question, they have their AI bot called Squatchbot now that will respond to almost everything. But there's a way to mark a post as a question versus not. You toggle it on or off. And when you ask it as a question, you're going to get a lot more responses from their community around whatever it is you're trying to figure out, like mobile hunting or whatever. And you're not going to get all the trash talk from all the forums you get on Facebook. So if you put in the right, it's called trail. So it could be big game, could be turkey, could be fishing, could be fly fishing, could be bass, could be pike, it's very granular. You can dive into very granular, quote unquote, trails or feeds or whatever. And then if you wanted to learn something from the community, you pose it as a question, you're going to get a good response.
Thoughtful responses.
Yeah, and you'll get responses. It's pretty cool. So anytime I see a question, I try to make a point to go in and answer it. So I'm a productive member of the community. Even if it's the wrong answer.
I should be more productive.
Productive might not be.
Here's an answer.
Yeah, participatory member of the community. So today on the show, did I ever go live on this platform? Shit. Hold on. I didn't hit the live button over here. Go live. Not that it matters. No, we're live on TikTok.
You're live. Hey, better late than never.
Hey, that's right. So we had one of our writers, we have a lot of freelance writers. And right now, Will Bowen is one of our consistent ones. He's writing 2 articles a month for us at the moment.
Heck yeah.
He's great.
He got some good ones too.
And yeah, he's got a good style, good cadence, good rhythm. I appreciate his personal opinion that he puts in there. I appreciate the thoughtfulness and how he puts it together. Come August, we'll have probably 8 writers. So it'll be hard to keep up with the posting of that. But Will just posted one, or I post them. He submits them. I post them, whatever. It's on the OKS on our website. It's on our homepage. If you scroll down far enough, or you go to the blog. And I titled it the same thing this podcast is titled, Camo, Fad or Function. And, I think he had 3 bullet points concealment, breaking up your pattern, something else.
Making money for retailers.
But that was the one. Yeah, that was when I was going to get. There's 3 things. One, and then is it just because it's almost like cars. They come up with a new car model every single year. And is that totally necessary? Sure. But as a consumer, do you really need a 2024 tomorrow? Do you really need the new iPhone the moment it comes out? Do you really need the latest camo? Is the latest camo pattern actually better than the one last year? Was there that many advancements in breaking up your pattern that merit you to take out your wallet and buy the newest, latest stuff?
No.
So, right?
Oh, shit. We just ended it.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Sorry, guys.
No, but to that end, there's technical. What this category is called something like technical gear. Technical
gear is what changed the camo stuff. Yeah, because man, forever it was all just patterns. It didn't really matter. Like, the old camo stuff, they're like
Cotton.
our dads and grandpas, like, if they weren't wearing flannel, they were wearing like some cotton jacket that had real tree printed on it.
Yep.
And then, like, it
The
didn't
bottom
matter
line was like
what
the
it was
it.
on, right?
Yep.
Like, it was about the concealment. Like, this has camouflage.
Mhm.
And now, like, with the,
Well,
the
what
last,
did we just watch?
we just lost. I watched that survival video basically on how to use technical gear to like dry out and survive in extreme situations using Sitka.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's a totally different ball game than buying a $29 cotton zip up jacket at Walmart.
When
and
you're
like,
a Midwest whitetail hunter,
it does
you know?
something
Yeah.
different, So it's like not even just about the camo. Like now you're buying like this technical piece, as like all the camo guru guys like talk about, like, oh, I want to get that piece like for my system.
Yes. Yeah. So there's I don't think this article broached on the other aspect of like the technical
Yeah.
outerwear or whatever. Just strictly from the pattern perspective, the two deer on the wall in this studio I killed in the same exact flannel that I got from Fleet Farm for $20. And
You're brown
yeah,
and like white. It's like,
yeah. I don't know. I'm wearing the technical stuff underneath. I'm wearing merino wool to wick away moisture from my body so I stay regulated out there in a decent temperature. And then the early November, that just happens to be like a temperature variable here in Wisconsin of like, it's pretty manageable. Sometimes it's unseasonably hot, whatever. So then for me to just throw that on after, like as the night cools a little bit, toss that on, I'm good with the mid-weight merino wool and the flannel over the top. I didn't need
it's like a
anything
quilted
else.
flannel, right? Like it looks warm-ish.
It's got like the black inner liner, so there's probably like a little bit of, I don't know what the hell they put in between the two layers.
Some sort of
Some sort of insulative.
insulation or-
Yeah. But it worked for me for what I had. But you've made some good compelling arguments about like come certain times of the year in winter, like when your skyline's complete and there's no more cover at all or foliage, like you're wearing snow camo.
I'm a huge proponent of camouflage, and I think it's just visually, like, I always talk about the visual element, like being an art person and like noticing every little detail. Like I've walked up on tons of people in the woods or friends that like stand out like a sore thumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like some of the real tree patterns are so busy that you put them up in a tree and you just look like a huge dark blob. And like it doesn't look natural. You're not broken up at all. So I like really light patterns. Natural gear is a really good pattern. That's one that Bo uses all the time, but it's really light, breaks up your outline very nicely. I love Predator camo.
Predator I've seen. Yep.
Predator breaks you up really nicely. I've got like the old duck camo. It's like tan and brown and just like in big patches. I have like these overalls, and like if I look at pictures from like going out shed hunting and like I have found one, like you take a picture, like you can't see my legs. Like it blends in perfectly, and it's like 40 years old. So like I don't think that the type of camo makes as big a deal as people think. Like people like to match. Like got to have a whole. That's purely for human aesthetics.
And that's convenient too. Like it might be convenient to buy a set from a brand
for sure.
Consistent. It's one purchase. You don't got to go here for this and there for that. Like I think there's something to that potentially. Like so, I don't know. But some of the leaders in the space right now seem to be Sitka is like the category king. They are the 10,000 pound gorilla. Is it worth the spend? That's subjective to your situation. I think, and this is coming from some of their people that I've heard, right? Speak. I've had some direct exposure to Sitka. I've been at their
higher
office,
level Sitka
in Montana, and like it may be the case that they have over-engineered it to what a typical Midwestern whitetail hunter would need. And the example might be like, if I'm driving a Ferrari, I'm not a race car driver. I can't get the full potential out of that car. I'm going to probably ruin the shit out of the clutch. I'm going to jam the gears. Now, if I give that car to my soon to be 6-year-old daughter, shit, like let's just say I had a 16-year-old son, which I don't. It's not that I'm aware of. Like they're going to be even worse. I think that 16-year-old son driving the Ferrari is the equivalent of the Wisconsin whitetail hunter using Sitka gear. You're far over engineered for what it needs to be. So are you going to be comfortable warm? 100%. You're going to be great. Do you need it? Probably not. Is it worth the money? It depends on your subjective thought process around what you would justify as necessary. Like the dodgeball. Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No. It's sterile. I like the taste. No, but it's comfy and I like the look. Like it just depends. Then you have First Light, who I think is a little bit less expensive than a Sitka and seemingly more approachable to that Midwestern whitetail hunter. Like we're not in Alaska chasing moose or caribou or whatever, bear. I don't think it's up in Alaska. Everything.
All that technical stuff is like if you were going to climb a freaking mountain. Like I'm going to climb 4,000 vertical feet and be dripping in sweat. Not like I got off my four-wheeler after eating 3 jelly donuts and I'm still going to be covered in sweat walking 150 yards to my stand. Yes. But like it's designed to do that. Like that's what that technical gear is designed to do. Is like.
And the video we watched, just Derek and I just spent some time watching that John Barklow is one of the product people at Sitka, and he's got a video. If you Google it or YouTube it, it's if you just YouTube and then in the search bar type in John Barklow warming drill. It's a widely viewed video. John Barklow trained military people when we were going into Afghanistan. He trained them how to like warm themselves in the mountains of Afghanistan, but that's only predicated on layering systems. So if you're going to use Sitka and you have all of the proper layers that wick moisture away from your body and out into evaporate into air and keep liquids from coming in or moisture coming in, it's all just mitigating. It's moisture management is the term. So like John Barklow will talk about using your body heat as an engine to heat up from within, and not to strip down and try to build a fire or set up a tent or eat food and all that stuff based on certain circumstances. Great video. That is not the majority.
The video is freaking wild. Like no Midwest hunter is going to probably be in that situation, but if you should watch the video because it's just
very educational. It's a very interesting way of thinking about things, and it's valid. It's proven. It's been like again, he's trained like the DoD, the actual Department of Defense leveraged this dude to understand how to manage moisture, warm themselves in extreme conditions, and I don't know that he invented layering systems, but it seems as though he may have invented layering systems.
It seems as though he's definitely perfected how they work.
Intelligent and seemingly crazy.
Oh, he's definitely crazy. It says that he was, training Navy SEALs squadrons on how to like not only like deal with cold management, because obviously your cognitive skills and your physical skills are greatly diminished by being super cold. So he was like doing all that kind of stuff, and now he's like selling camo, right? Like dude, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, here we go. Adam Paul, Sitka's for people that sit all day, right? Yeah, potentially, right? Jacob Emery commented, I'll throw it up on the screen. He said, solids are a fashion statement, changed my mind. And that's kind of where we're at. Like, if you're the average hunter, the okayest hunter, or what have you, like, there are a number of influencers and TV companies and personalities pushing various products. And I think that's all fine. It's all part of the ecosystem. It's how it works. I'm not for or against it, but as someone who's killed deer in flannels, and you look at what our grandpas did and like that stuff just wasn't even around it. So do you need it to kill a deer? No. Now, if you're an OKS hunter and you're trying to stack the odds in your favor, I think we need all the help we can get. So maybe why not blow my load on a Sitka or a First Light system?
But it's a totally different argument because you don't buy Sitka for the concealment. Sorry, the Sitka patterns, they're okay. Mm-hmm. They break your outline, but I'm arguably not better than any other pattern out there. You're buying it for the warmth factor and for that technical factor.
What's the new one that came out? Was it Origin?
Origin
the Jocko
is
one?
A newer one, yeah. And then there's the Osseo is somewhat new, but that's a very busy pattern, like very dark, very busy. Like, and Adam is a good friend of mine. Like, he's got the warm weather the cold weather system. Mm-hmm. Never complained once about being cold. He never does. I've never met anyone who owns like the expensive Sitka stuff who's like, man, it doesn't work. Everyone's like, it's the freaking best.
See, the ambient jacket of theirs is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're going to get cold wearing it. But if you're working it as a system, I think that's like, again, you're stacking those odds in your favor that like now that's not something that you're going to have to deal with. And if your time is limited, like maybe ours is, because we have families and kids and jobs and stuff, like maybe that one chance I do get to hunt, I don't want to like leave the stand because I was too effing cold.
Yeah.
But come gun season, you got to wear blaze orange. So like, tell me that doesn't matter at all. Like,
Yeah, but you don't have to wear a blaze orange jacket. I wear a blaze
Underneath.
orange vest over my hunting gear.
Sure, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I
Oh God, I'm so stupid. I didn't even think of it that way. I'm like, I'm buying.
You don't have to wear a
I have a
blaze
onesie,
jacket.
and then I have like
you
bibs
can
and a
put
jacket.
whatever, you know, like we always used to buy like big hoodies, like big orange hoodies from
Yeah.
Fleet Farm, and put that over your nice like warm jacket, right? So like you didn't have to have, because I've never really found like a blaze. All the like the stuff from Fleet Farm when I was a kid, and probably still now, like all the blaze orange stuff that they put out there on the racks, really insulated, is like the loudest. It's like wearing like a frozen garbage bag. You know what I mean? It's like and then you're trying to open your snack, which is 10 times louder than that. It's like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Tony Cordero, spending money on your base layer smart. Now, I think that is quintessential. And that is the game changer that I had 2 years ago. I invested in merino wool, bottoms, tops. And then I invested a little bit more in last season, get some early season stuff. Because I don't have early season stuff for all that sweating and the heat.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right layer touching your skin, it doesn't dry. Like, dude, the one that I got from First Light is like it's the early season one.
The base layer?
Yeah.
The
You
merino?
saw 'em, I put it on.
I think it's merino, isn't
when
it?
I was getting undressed in front of you after we got off the canoe.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Anyway, it did its job, man. By the time I got to the tree, I think it was pretty well dried out.
And the merino stuff is awesome for wicking, but like a lot of that is also over designed for whitetail hunters because merino like doesn't allow bacteria to grow within it. So like it's kind of designed for Western hunting when you're backpacking and like out on the mountain for days, so it doesn't get super stinky.
My stuff still gets a little stinky. Like I don't think that is foolproof, but I think it's probably a lot better than.
Yeah.
And what's that bullshit stuff that Under Armour
silver alloy technology?
No, dude,
shit?
just like that like runner type material that I don't even know what the fabric is, but it's like elasticy polyester. You want to talk about something that doesn't mitigate scent at all? I think it makes it even worse. It magnifies scent.
I feel like it smells forever then.
It was
like
terrible.
Once you've sweat in it once, I don't care if you wash it. Like every time I smell it, I smell that nasty body.
It's garbage. I was like, oh, back in the day, I was like, oh, this looks cool. I don't know, it's a brand name. I didn't have this like just it stinks. It's terrible. Okay. It stinks and it's also smelly. But I will say when I first got into hunting, everything was hand-me-down from my dad. So my dad gave me a giant onesie, bottle and camo. Who fucking knows what brand it was? And I was like, man, this is what I got, you know, and
this is the best you got, Dad.
And lo and behold, that it's almost like fashion. That pattern has come back around as like the cool pattern. It's also been like put up against a lot of the modern day stuff as like pretty effective
for breaking
for concealment and breaking up outline. Yeah. So I think that's rather interesting. My battery on this thing's drained pretty quick, so I'm just gonna do that if you want to chatter up for a minute here.
You got a charger for that bad boy?
Let's hope so.
Yeah, if you have not, like, if you've heard about base layers but never wanted to fork over the money, like Tony said, whatever you're putting next to your body, that's probably the most important layer. You can get away with a lot of different stuff on top, but whatever you put next to your body that holds moisture is going to suck. It's almost like the old adage for like
cotton
guns.
kills or
like
something.
The old adage for like buying a firearm, you spend as much or more on your optics for the scope. Kind of like that for like base layers, the way I see it. Like, yeah, you can have the fancy coat, but like if you're freaking sweating like crazy and you're wet underneath your fancy outer layer, like it's not going to matter. Like you got to take care of what's close to your body first.
Work from the inside out with your dollars, I think would be a good way to put it.
And if you're sweaty like me, you're going to need more than one base layer.
Dude, speaking of sweat, tangent. My wife
sweat tangent
got this like pre-workout and I tried it before a run. It was like the scene from Along Came Polly when he's eating spicy food in the restaurant.
Were your eyeballs sweating?
I was like, what is happening? And I didn't realize it. So then that happened. And then she's like, yeah, I heard this pre-workout makes you sweat more. She's like, I've been sweating way more at the gym. Like, what the heck's going on? And I was like, weird. But it was a really hot day. So I was like, I don't know. That seems, I can't tell yet.
Probably.
So I tried it again. I was like, I'll let you know. Dude, you would have thought someone turned the hose on. I ran to the gym, worked out, and for the life of me, even an air-conditioned building, even though I was working out, like, just so disgustingly sweaty. I was like, what is the deal? So, naturally sweaty person, plus a sweaty thing, inducer.
Not a good combo.
It was crazy.
So do you still take that?
No, I stopped. I'm like, I don't want to sweat this much. It's stupid. I don't think it gave me that much of a boost in my, output. And then I ran my best time today ever, and I didn't do anything, so it's great. Scott Ford, a good buddy of mine. We had a call on queue. I'll get to it in just a second. But Scott said, first light early season and late season base layers are awesome and are well worth the investment. Love Sitka's outerwear when it comes to blocking wind and warmth, but hell, I will still rock a few cheap products.
Woo!
Yeah, I think we all kind of just put like you and Matt Strime and myself and Greg are in this and Tyler are in this group message. You guys are like competing against who's wearing the most mismatched camo.
I think we were up to
Who
like
won?
5 different brands. I think Matt had on for a turkey hunt 5 different camo patterns.
Yeah. And I think that's where camo's probably the most important, is in the eye of a turkey.
Yeah, probably.
To some degree. And even with that, like, it's a total freaking mix.
See, like you said before, like buying a system, like a full system, is probably the way to go. I've never done that ever. Like I'm just looking like, oh, this is on sale. This is on clearance. I buy shit off Camo Fire a lot. If you're not on Camo Fire, don't download that app because you will spend way more money than you want to. But every once in a while, they'll like have a great deal on like a Predator fleece jacket, $50. I'm like, buy that. So when I go out, I'm like wearing all kinds of different crap. I'm like thinking about what it does technically and like what it's gonna look like, but it's never the same.
Yeah,
it's just wild.
Interesting. I wonder if you do you organize it by early, mid, late? How do you organize your stuff?
Yeah. And then I
have bow and gun, and
then I have an outer bag that's like all my different camouflages.
How do you store it throughout the year? Do you vacuum seal and put in with leaves, or what do you
I've
do?
got the scent free. They're like HS Hunter Specialties. I don't think it's HS Shred, but they make these big green scent free bags.
Is it like
I got
vacuum
about
seal?
10 of those. They're not vacuum sealed. They have like an inner zipper and then an outer zipper, all of which break. Their zippers are really shit.
Super scent free,
especially the new ones. The old ones, I've got old ones that are like 12 years old that still work, but all the new ones are just garbage. So
these are Rubbermaid totes. It's a shit show around here. I mean, if you've watched the OKS Hunter show, you understand a little bit of what that looks like for me. Squid Outdoors. Camo only matters if you are sitting 100% still. The second you move, no camo in the world is going to save you. Yeah, maybe. I mean, deer are, like, I think that's a Fred Bear quote. It's based on, they're looking for movement.
The best camouflage is being still.
That is probably the best one. And playing the wind, wow, lots of comments today on the camo stuff. Andrew Howard, I always go for quiet outer layer first. There's a company that has like silent or
stealth out. No, stealth.
It's a very fluffy.
Somebody help us out here. Do you know? Yeah,
Stealth Outdoors or damn it,
silence. No,
I can't think of
what
it.
is it. I think we're both thinking of the same thing.
Yeah, I'll find it.
I do have like a micro fleece. Like it's not made. Predator used to be made by like Gray Wolf Linens or something. They used to have like really quality wool stuff. That's not the one I have. I have like some off brand. It's a micro fleece though, so it doesn't block wind as well, but it is super quiet. Okay. So if I have good like underlayers or like a little puffy underneath there, I bought like a cheap Huntworth puffy, and then I put that fleece, having that quiet fleece. If you're bow hunting, you gotta have something super quiet on the outside. Fleece is awesome.
What is this name of the company? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Someone messaged me about it, so I'm looking back in my archive to see if I can figure it out.
It's wool stuff, right? The thing you're thinking
I think it's a wool thing. How do I find this?
It has something to do with sound, like the name does.
Yeah.
I saw them at the show in Iowa. They had a booth.
I saw them at ATA and I was talking with them a bunch.
Gray Wolf Linens used to make all of the Predator stuff.
Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. How can I not figure it out? Oh, gosh. That's not it. Reaching out. Code of Silence.
Code of Silence. See?
Did it.
There we go.
My brain.
It should have been Code of Silence.
Code of Silence.
Code of Silence.
But that kind of stuff makes you think like, man, you're going to collect every single burr.
Oh, you will.
In the damn forest.
Unless you're packing it in like on your shoulders. Yeah. You like, depending where you hunt. Those of you who hunt near burrs and all the little stick tights, that is the absolute worst. Ugh.
Zach said, have you ever heard of the DeQuisto theory on camo with movement? No, although I know Cody's stance on camo.
And solids and flannels.
I think his stance is good. I don't have a problem with it. And I think he probably ended up somewhere we're going, in the sense of like, there a lot of companies are just really trying to like monetize camo.
But so is Cody.
Yeah,
He's monetizing
the flannel.
flannels
Yeah,
by
he went the other
selling
direction.
$300 flannels.
Yeah.
Like, which good for you. Like, if you
Yes.
have a market for it, go for it. But it's not different than what other companies are doing, right? Like,
But then to like be sponsored by one, it was one of those areas, and we don't have one, so I can talk about this however the hell I want. Like, oh, if you say this, you're gonna piss that one off. If you say that, you're gonna piss this one off, and this one's not better than that one, and all the subjectivity, right? So I think some people, like in the article that we're referencing out of the gate here, they're talking about, well, I would die before I try this brand. It's almost like Chevy versus Ford.
oh, for sure.
You know, it's still gonna get you to point A to point B.
And
you know?
it's all, just like everything else, it's all relative. So like if you're hunting in Cody, for example, loves hunting in cedar trees or on the edges of hardwoods, like if you're in a very a lot of woods that's all huge standing oaks, you can wear solid brown and you'll look like a tree. You will be fine. If you don't move, you'll be fine. If you're hunting in a cedar tree, these bushy, you see Cody sets up one stick high in a cedar tree, you can wear your birthday suit and they probably won't see you. Like, it's solid, right? But if you're in a dead ash tree with the closest tree 40 yards away and you're anywhere above that deer and you're wearing a solid pattern, you will stand out. I promise. If a person was standing there and looked that way, they will see a big dark blob. That's why wearing something really light that breaks you up, like, it depends on the situation. That's why I have all my different camos, because like I think of what tree I'm going to set up in and like what's going to blend me in. Like, that's where it becomes important to me, and not just like doing it for a fashion statement. Well, I don't wear camo because it doesn't matter. It definitely does, depending where you are. It does matter. And if you don't think so, then come with me and I'll show you. Let's go take some videos. I'll pick some trees. I'll wear a solid pattern, and then I'll wear snow camo, and you tell me which one is easier to see me in.
What's that movie with
Let's make that a short.
Mark Wahlberg, where he's a sniper and
Shooter.
Great movie. Yeah, he's wearing snow camo in the snow. Like, some of this stuff is pretty logical. It makes a lot of sense. Like, of course, that's what you should be freaking wearing. That's why there is snow camo, because it's white. So we have a caller on.
Okay.
We're getting all hot and bothered here. What's going on?
Don't get me started on the color black in like hunting gear either. Black straps. Oof.
But it's First Light's got that new brown. I don't know what the color. It's not called brown, but it's brown.
It's a new brown.
It's called something cool. I think this stuff is cool. Like, from a brand statement. So we were at the Iowa Deer Classic. Adam, thanks for joining the show. You're live. Hold on one second.
All good, boys. How you doing?
We were at the Iowa Deer Classic.
Hey, buddy.
People were wearing Sitka like it was freaking Abercrombie and Fitch in high school.
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
That's how they were wearing it.
Dude, I've seen that at my workplace.
At the workplace.
It was like Sitka was definitely more of like a statement or a fashion statement.
Everybody had like a Sitka track jacket.
There's no function to wear Sitka at a trade show. You're not hunting.
No, but they were sweating and it was releasing the moisture.
That guy didn't stink.
I was breathing his sweat.
Smell that merino wool? I didn't.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good, Derek. How you doing? Eric, how you doing, man?
Good. We're getting all fired up here. Time. Well, camouflage. I don't know what's going on.
It's June. We're talking camo.
100%.
Hey, early season's right around the corner. Okay, like, get ready.
I was just gonna comment. I have one of the like the cheapest. My like early season setup is pretty damn cheap, and then obviously, as Derek mentioned earlier, I have like a full Sitka setup, and I fucking love it. Why? Just because of the warmth, and then a couple of cool pockets. That's really about it.
No,
that
they've thought of
hand
everything.
muff, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
what is it? Is it the ambient jacket? What's the one with the built-in hand?
No, you have. What do you have?
I got the Fanatic.
The Fanatic. That is the one.
Yeah.
And you've had that for a while, right?
I have, yeah. And I feel like a ninja. It's a confidence booster.
It's pretty dope.
Completely unnecessary, but it's a big confidence.
They even have a
booster.
spot for your
Look,
rangefinder, don't they? Like, isn't there like a little pocket for your rangefinder?
Yeah, there is, and I love it.
Dude,
and your grunt tube.
And your grunt tube. Like, it's like aerated, so you can keep your grunt tube on your person, and so you're reducing movement, and it's still gonna
and it allows the moisture to clear out so it doesn't freeze.
Yeah, so
moisture management. It's moisture management. Now, you said something funny, Adam. So Adam and I have hunted together for a long time, and you mentioned like the confidence, like which you're right. Like you got to have confidence. It doesn't matter what you use.
You do.
But like now that as soon as you said that, like not to give away too much, but I've seen you wear your Fanatic stuff in like a wide variety of temperature ranges.
Dude,
like
the
I feel
worst
like
things ever.
I feel like I've seen you wear it, and when it's
I've
like
used
pretty
them and
warm, you just like
there's
don't
green
wear
leaves
anything
all over the
underneath
place.
it.
You need to wear it to
When you're talking
justify
about
the
Camo,
expense
I'm like
to your
the
wife.
worst person you guys are talking to.
Like, oh, why are you wearing it? It's 90 degrees out. Because it was $900, honey. I gotta get my miles out of this thing. I'm just testing out the sweat factor.
That's so funny. Derek mentioned how like I'm usually like a very cold person, and when it was like 90 degrees last week, I'm like in the office, I'm wearing like a Columbia fleece over my work stuff just because I'm just cozy that way. I like being cozy, comfortable. Number one.
I will say
I gotta grind it a little harder,
dude. When you get that temperature just right in mid-November and it's fall and it's right and the world is right. Everything is just amazing. And you're cozy in your tree stand or saddle. Let me tell you the feeling that comes over you right now.
But
There's not a better feeling when you've done it.
That's
When you
my
get that
favorite
stride,
thing
you're
about
like,
being outside.
it feels so good.
Yeah, and I mean,
For sure, man.
we've all been cold in a stand or in a saddle before. Like, how well do you pay attention when it's cold?
No, everything sucks.
Oh my God,
pain
you're just thinking about
over.
like when you can get down and go get a coffee. Go get a coffee. Go get a coffee.
Your brain's like, climb down now. Climb down now. Climb
You
down
should
now.
do it.
Now's
You
a good
should get
time.
down.
Now's a good time. And you're like, no, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. I can do this. What if that deer shows up? The moment I try to climb down is when it's going to happen. And you can jettison all of that self-talk if you just do things correctly.
This is true.
And if you're too hot, you can always take layers off.
That's very true.
Do you have? Remind me. Do you have like the merino wool? Because we're talking about going. Adam's going to Illinois with me to hunt public. We're thinking about going down early. They open October 1st. I think their first.
Well,
I think the first is like a Sunday.
Okay.
Not as early as Wisconsin.
I'm probably wearing my Sicko suit then.
I was gonna say, do you have like some good warm weather stuff, or do you just have like?
What's that?
He has one outfit. It costs everything.
The Fanatic.
I basically have two, and I got a set of Derek's hand-me-downs that I do rock.
So you're about
Derek's
Derek's size then too, because that would be.
Yeah, he's a little bigger.
I can't
than me.
take Derek's hand-me-downs.
Yeah, true.
What are you trying to say?
Derek and I are pretty
smaller
similar
person.
size,
That's okay. You're more nimble than I am.
Okay. I'm not a big person. I'm pretty tiny.
I was thinking about the coziness in the stand and our buddy at Whitetail Experience.
Cody?
No.
Whitetail. Oh, Byron
Horton.
Sorry, I
Thank
was
you.
thinking of a different one.
He did this thing where he's putting socks over his boots to keep his feet warm. I use rubber boots. Like that's all I have. I have these gum leafs. I think they're fantastic. It's fine. But I was in the stand and I had my jacket. Well, I didn't need my jacket because I had my flannel. But I brought my jacket in case. I just put my jacket over. I put my each foot into the arms of the jacket and like put and then I folded the jacket over or under my boots. So it was between my boots and my stand, between the metal. Dude, my feet were like perfect.
World of difference.
It was a game changer. It
That's
was an
smart.
actual
Awesome.
game changer. So it wasn't the socks. It was as close as I could get at the time, but I did it because I saw the sock thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that little bit of
I
insulation.
no longer had cold feet.
That's freaking amazing.
It was incredible. It changed the whole. It was a rut sit. It was an all-day sit. It changed the whole day for me.
So, Adam, you're always cold. What do you do for feet? What do you do for boots?
Oh,
any tricks to keep you warm?
You're always
honestly,
cold.
the one thing you showed me were those full-blown, or the whole, what the heck are those things called? Those, I guess, your foot sole warmers.
Oh, like
those,
the full length ones.
Just like the packets, but yeah, obviously not the toe warmers. Those don't do shit. Be honest, just like a full foot warmer.
Yeah.
That's honestly all I use. I really don't try to. If I use any sort of heavy boot or anything like that, I'm sweating so hard that I just screw everything up. I'll bring an extra pair of socks. That's for sure, depending on where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been times where I've walked in shirtless when it's been like 25 degrees.
I gotta find it. We got a blog article on our website.
But, dude, I wish I had I wish I had photos or videos of some of the spots Adam was hunting late season. Dude, I was giving Adam pins in this area because I was like, dude, I'm never going to go to this spot because it's too hard to get to. And Adam is like, dude, I'm going to go there during muzzleloader with my bow in the middle of winter.
I finally bought a muzzleloader.
Yeah, you did.
I'm done missing bucks during that. I've had like golden opportunities with my bow, but I'm like, they're dead next time.
How you get back there, it takes like 3 hours. So like the change of socks would be a no-brainer, and going in shirtless probably necessary.
We have an article on our website from November of 2020. It's one of our first ones. Back when I was trying to make our blog like the Onion
to blow it up, yeah.
Of the I don't know, just because I thought it'd be funnier. Like, let's just make farce articles that are full of shit. But some of them are somewhat factually true. And one of them was naked men spotted on trail cams across the country. And we have pictures of dudes literally naked on trail cams hunting shirtless because it was so effing hot. So it was like this really funny, like satirical article. Anyway.
I've definitely stripped down and bathed in a creek before I've gotten to my stand before.
Dude, you're smart. I mean, you think of every little tiny aspect to give you whatever little advantage you can possibly get, because you just never know.
You never know.
Squid Outdoors commented and said they make battery-powered heated socks now, which would be worth trying.
Oh, like the heated vest.
Yeah.
Like
the Milwaukee
remote
tool company has a good heated vest.
I feel like there's just such mixed reviews. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts?
I feel like I don't have one. I wouldn't mind trying one. Like, I wouldn't mind when you start to get that, when that sinks into your bone, you get that uncontrollable shiver you can't shake.
Like 8:30.
I would love to crank that thing on and reset real quick.
Yeah, 8:30 opening day. Like, you sneak in there, it's still dark. You've like cooled down. The sun comes up. It's always like the coldest point. Right when you see the sun, you're like, oh shit, it's cold.
Yeah, and then you got a deer that comes by, and all of a sudden your adrenaline hits, and you're like shaking doubly hard.
I don't even have deer come by. I just like hear a deer crunching 300 yards away. I'd never see it, but it almost warms me up because I'm excited that I might see one, but I know I won't. Now, I tried a trick a few years ago, and it actually worked. Was putting antiperspirant, not deodorant, but antiperspirant on your feet before you put your socks on.
This is like when I heard you can put mayo on your meat when you cook it.
You can put mayo wherever you want. But
mayo. It's like a grilling thing. Mayo is like...
I never heard that.
We had an episode where it was talked about. I think I even put it out as a short clip, like putting mayo on instead of like mustard as a binder or something. Or, when you're like searing meat, you could do mayo because it adds this layer of like fat.
It's probably delicious.
I don't know. But any event, antiperspirant on your feet.
Your feet.
To prevent sweating on
your
your
feet? So like when you're walking in. Like Adam was talking about walking in a long way. Like if you walk in.
Could you just use deodorant though? Like, could that work? Like scentless deodorant?
I don't know, maybe.
What the hell is antiperspirant?
It stops sweating.
But no, but what is like
deodorant and antiperspirant is different.
Excuse me, guy at Walgreens. I'd like to find some antiperspirant. Is you can just bring me to the deodorant aisle, or is this like
you gotta read, buddy. You gotta read on the bottom. Some of them are deodorant, and deodorant means it's smelly shit. You're putting perfume on your
I don't want to do that. I want to
got the Axe body spray. I saw the Dark Temptation down here. I saw Dark Temptation. No, but really, putting that on the bottoms of your feet stops them from sweating, and then your socks don't get wet.
Interesting.
If only I could put it between my toes.
You love that damn swag smell from Old Spice.
Swagger.
Dude, when some deodorant, like when that deodorant started getting popular when we were kids, like the remember the clear gel that would click, click, click?
Oh, yeah, Speed Stick.
Yeah, the Speed Stick. Dude, we that's back when you would like prank call people out of Yellow Pages. I had a buddy that like he prank called the number on the back of the deodorant. And he's like, they're like, thanks for calling customer service, blah, 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 whatever, deodorant, Speed Stick, something. I don't remember the brand anymore. And he's like, it's burning! It's burning! And they're like, sir, what's happening? He's like, my balls! They're burning! Your deodorant's burning my ball sack! And we were like, we were dying. We couldn't handle it. And the gal's like, she didn't like know what to do. And then we just hung up and lost our shit. We were like 13.
That's good stuff.
Yet, this is stupid.
Adam might get a kick out of this, but man, I used to play soccer back in the day, and one of our traveling teams, we would play in this tournament in Minnesota, in Blaine, which Adam's from Minnesota. I'm sure you played at Blaine many times. The USA Cup. And one year they were sponsored by this company called BioFreeze, and it's basically icy hot.
Oh yeah.
But it's called BioFreeze.
I've heard about it.
So they gave they gave everybody like a gift bag with like these little one-time use packets of BioFreeze. So we're like 14, 15-year-old boys, right? Everybody's trying this biofreeze before the first game, rubbing it on your joints. And then like
literally someone did it.
For whatever
where this is
reason,
going.
all the guys like would warm up with their hands in their pants. Like they were just like fiddling around. I don't know what, but they got this biofreeze on their fingers from rubbing it into their joints. And next thing you know, like, oh, like a couple guys getting a little uncomfortable. And like 8 guys were like, Coach, I gotta go wash my stuff off.
Oh
Got
my
biofreeze in my
The
balls.
fireball was invented.
Yeah.
The whole team
Fireball.
leaves.
For real though, like a couple kids couldn't play because they like burned their balls with biofreeze.
Oh man, that's awesome.
They biofreeze. I'm not gonna name names, but Adam, you can probably guess who some of them are.
Oh, I know who they are.
Were you one of them?
No,
You're the icy hot guy.
no, I was.
No, I'm with icy hot. I understand.
Shaq told me Icy Hot was better.
I can't cheat on icy hot. They're my real sponsor. I went to deer camp when we stayed like this shitty motel in Prairie du Chien. It's been bulldozed to the ground now to give you an idea of how shitty it was. I think it was like $28 a night or something. And
like repair.
Sounds like somewhere Adam would say trophy.
I was doing P90X.
Oh, dude, I did that
Oh
for
God,
like 4 years of my life, and I miss it.
I was doing this
Ratty places.
This P90X workout. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I got some DVDs.
Oh my God, that was huge,
dude. Well, I was young enough where I could still bounce back into shape in several weeks and just be like right as rain and not take 6 months to get back in shape. And so I was like, well, I'll just bust out P90X, get in shape for deer camp 2 weeks ahead of time. And that 2 weeks turned into 1 week. And I must have done like more push-ups than I could possibly begin to count. And so I messed up my tendon in my elbows. And my one elbow, my tendon like flared up and got all weird from so many push-ups.
Really?
I was like, dude, this is like a problem. And so I was like, I stopped and got icy hot. My dad gets to deer camp. Me and my buddies are in there. And my dad walks in. He's like, it smells like an 80-year-old man in here. What the hell's going on? Who's wearing icy hot? I was like, me. I hurt my elbow.
Now, if you would have brought icy hot into our deer camp, my dad would have probably killed you.
Well,
my
bad.
mom made bacon one time, and it was like October. It wasn't even good. And my dad was like, "What the hell stinks? You gonna make bacon in here? Everything stinks." And he took all the clothes outside, and like he used to be a real stickler on the scent stuff.
That's pretty funny.
You bring icy hot in, you're gonna get throat
Well, that's
punched.
my dad. So yeah, I think that same trip, like it got really, really, really hot in the hotel or in the motel room. It was like private entry motel, like you just expose the outdoors. My buddy Mike's like, man, it's pretty hot in here. My dad gets out of bed in his whitey tighties, flings open the door. That ought to help. Like, like what the hell is going on?
Hello, world.
Deer camp is a magical place because the weird shit that goes on. And I have other stories that I'm not going to share on this podcast to protect certain identities.
Yeah.
It's almost worse than Vegas in some cases. I'm not saying we go to strip clubs and shit. That's not part of our deer camp tradition. I know that's part of some people's. We had a guy back when I had the app, the Where to Hunt app that shows your location. We had a guy email in saying like, your app ruined my marriage. I was like, what are you talking about?
Is that the titty bar?
We had 70,000 downloads, man. Like it got some far-reaching corners, and this guy was at the titty bar, and his wife saw his location. And I'm like, that's not my problem. What are you doing?
Beaver season isn't even open.
It was so silly. I was like, yeah, that's a different problem, buddy, and that's not my app's fault. That exposed what you're like. Don't go there. You're a married man.
Man, my dad, we got a wood burning fireplace in the cabin. My dad like has to keep it stoked up. So like during deer season, Adam and I,
that's a natural smell.
Our buddy
smoke.
Ben, it's all good. It's just he can't let it go out no matter how hot it is, and it's a small cabin. So our buddy Ben came up to hunt one year, and it was like Friday night before opener. We had a few drinks, so like we're probably dehydrated as it is. But my dad is stoking this fire at like 2 a.m. It's like 78 degrees in the cabin.
Oh, that's hot.
And like the couches are all in the family room right there. So like I wake up in the morning to go get water. I'm like, oh my God, I need to go get like water. And I like the water's right next to the fridge, and like it's a little linoleum small section in the kitchen. And like I trip over something in the dark. And my buddy Ben is laying there in his boxers on the linoleum floor going, please God, tell your dad no more wood. He slept on the linoleum, no clothes, because he was so freaking hot.
No more wood has
no more wood.
In this case, it was for the fire.
So it was actually wood this time. Yeah, so camo,
Stay cool out there.
it's all about moisture management.
When I got that buck there on by you, Derek, that was the one from 2020. I was sweating my balls off when I got to the stand. I had beeline there as fast as possible. It was a hot November day. It was election day, I believe. So it was at like November 5th or something. 11th. I don't remember. Something like that. And I was like, I don't care about the election. I'm gonna go hunting. Like I'm over the drama. And that's when I got the deer, and it was great. But I was sweating, and I remember one guy commented on the post like, he was like pissed that I was sweating. Like, you don't know what you're doing. If you're sweating, you're stupid. I was like, well, it was hot out. I was covering ground, like my hat. You can see the sweat lines and stuff.
Nah, you're working.
I was like, by the way, I got the deer, you a-hole. Like,
the deer said he didn't care.
Yeah, like, my merino wool did the job. Yeah.
I do remember a time when your really warm Sitka suit was working against you, Adam. I think you had just shot a really nice buck, like your biggest one to date, at that spot just north of you. And I remember you sending some pictures because you were dragging him out, and you like it had warmed up. I think it was in the morning, wasn't it? In the morning you shot a buck, and then it was like warming up, and he had a long drag. He's sending me pictures like, dude, I'm dying. He's got like his fanatic bibs and the jacket. It's like all you had. So
Dude,
like, you wore it, and it was.
Yeah, I think I finally took my top off, but I still had my bibs on.
That's the picture.
Completely drenched.
You had nothing under your bibs. You just had the bibs on and just shirtless, dragging your buck out.
There was one year it was unseasonably hot during gun season,
great.
and we had like flies around the gut job.
Really?
And it was hot, where it was one of those like shirtless situations. Dragging this buck out with my buddy Greg, not Greg Tubbs, my buddy Greg Byers, and it was terrible. It was terrible, man. That was a rough November. I don't remember what year that was. It was like 2012, 13, something like that. Just brutal heat. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was here in Wisconsin.
What year?
It must have been like 11, 12, or 13. I think that's the general time.
It was
one
like
of those
55
years.
degrees.
No, it was like fucking 70 degrees.
But in the morning.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't it like
I was like, this isn't normal. This isn't how it's supposed to go. Like the year prior, we had snow.
We used to have snow a lot.
And we had snow in Prairie du Chien. That's definitely not normal.
For like opening weekend of Wisconsin. Oh, like gun season.
You're up north. There's always snow there.
No, there's not that much snow anymore.
Yeah, maybe not. I miss hunting up north. That was
when are you going to return? Prodigal son. Oh, you got your thing going on with Prairie du Chien.
Yeah. No, I do. It's nice. I enjoy going there mainly because there's no wolves or bears or cougars to think about if I'm sitting on the ground passing out, which is usually what happens. Like I'm just tired.
Adam, you've hunted up north with us a couple times, but I don't know if you've gun hunted up there.
I have not gun hunted up there. I remember one time I didn't even have a gun when I first started getting into hunting, and I brought my bow up during gun season wearing blaze orange. I've done this probably about 10 times in my life, wearing blaze orange with a bow. So it looks like I'm a felon in the woods. I can't wield a gun. Until I finally started collecting gear as I started progressing, and finally got a rifle, finally got a muzzleloader this year. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So, how old were you when you actually took up bow hunting? Because you were a little older. You were an adult onset hunter.
I had to be 27 when I started. I didn't get my first deer until just before I turned 30, like weeks. I want to say a few weeks before.
And you kind of started.
I should say a few days late October.
And you kind of started just with like all the cheap stuff, right? Like camo wise and whatnot. You didn't like buy anything nice right away. Like you put money into your bow, and then what did you do?
It was whatever you were willing to give me.
I suppose it was.
You gave me some old harness. My first stand was a $5. I mean, it was just a beast of a hang-on stand that was not mobile by any means. And then I somehow, like, I'm not going to say zip tied, but took some cables and ripped a couple of. That was like one of my first investments for like some lone wolf sticks, like the heavier ones. Had those.
That's the best way to start.
That's how I killed my first deer. I mean, and this is, there wasn't obviously the super lightweight stuff out, but there was some pretty light stuff out there. begin with.
Yeah.
And
We
I
got to
don't know. I
back
wanna
up though,
say-
Adam.
I
Like
want to say what I was wearing.
we didn't talk about the fact that I think Derek mentioned to me somewhere ahead of time that you're an adult onset hunter. Is that
He
accurate?
just said he killed his first deer right before he turned
100%.
30.
30. Okay. Yeah.
So he
right
started
before 30.
hunting about 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the shit that
Yeah.
will bother me when people are gonna add shitty comments to a 30-year-old or a 29-year-old posting a first deer pic, thinking that you look like a grown ass man because you are, and they just assume you've been hunting since you were 12, like they have been, and that very well may not be the case, and therefore that spike buck is totally a trophy because it's the first one, it's first blood. Like you got to get past that.
You're
and do that.
100% accurate. And I'm like, nobody actually got a lot more praise than what I thought I would.
That's good to
because,
hear.
Nobody knew me as a hunter, which it was good. Yeah, clearly. I mean, I'm old. I guess the only good thing I have going with me is I'm still getting ID'd. I'm starting to look old. But I'm like, I still look pretty young, so I still look like a 23-year-old, like with his first buck. So it passed, I think, a little easier.
Our co-founder Tyler
But,
got carded
yeah.
in Iowa. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
I think it made us a year.
Out at dinner.
He's like, really? You want to see my IG? Oh. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
He was very proud.
I would have been too. I was like, why am I not getting carded? What the fuck?
You're old as shit.
Father, shut up, father time. I don't need your ID. You got speckled gray in your beard.
Shut it, old
I'm
man.
trying to get this gray bald spot going on my left side of my face. That's the left? Yeah, that's the left. I can't tell the difference. Jeez. Anyway, no, that's the fact that you're an adult onset. Now you're full on Sitka, but you obviously don't have the Sitka system because if you did, that sweat situation wouldn't have been a problem.
No, I got one. Yeah, I got like two systems I hunt with. And then I looked at it too, and I was like, dang, I'm like, what? This is a Derek question. All my hunting questions just go towards Derek.
Same.
So I'm like, I'm
And
freezing
Greg.
my ass off all the time. I'm like, what can I get that's going to keep me warm? He's like, well, if you really want to stay warm, then I hear a lot of good stuff about the Sitka. And then obviously Cabela's had a comparable option at probably, 60% of the cost, 50%.
Dear
I'll be honest, like I tested the two out.
soap.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a lot more maneuverable with that Sitka. Obviously, I usually have it tied to my pack as I'm walking in shirtless, so it's completely useless moving.
Well, that's just in
As
case
far
you
as-
run across any hotties on the trail end.
Yeah, those does, man. You got to be presentable for those does. No, that's just a hiker. The does won't care. If you're not in camouflage, the does won't think twice.
That's just a hiker, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's just weird. He's not trying to kill me.
True.
Just
Oh,
carry an
man.
Nalgene bottle and a bandana, and they'll know you're a hiker, and they will be super calm.
You'll be
Get
set.
that algae banner.
Bag of granola. Wow, look at that tree. It must be 300 years old.
Get out your nature valley. You'll be in good shape. That
Yes.
crunch doesn't scare him away. It attracts him.
You didn't fill this up once, did you?
I did once. You want to do mine? You go for it.
Did you fill mine up after
Well,
I filled ours up?
Yeah,
No.
go for it.
Oh, jeez. This is a
Thirsty-
bad idea.
Thirsty. There's no bad ideas. In the
There's
podcast.
too much bourbon
We've
going
already
on
decided
here.
last week that bourbon tastes better in the podcast studio for some
It
reason.
tastes totally different down
Doesn't make
here.
any sense.
It really does.
Like literally, if you want to have a good bourbon, you come here and you drink the bourbon.
You drink the bourbon.
You drink it here, and that's how it tastes good.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's not
What do you
drinkable.
guys have
that's
for
what's good
bourbon?
about it. We're doing. You do it.
No, I forget how to pronounce the name.
I don't know.
Michters?
Who told
Somebody
us?
told us.
Yeah, Clay Thurman told us.
Yeah, and
last
then he
week.
called us.
Michters.
Sorry, Clay. Michters.
Michters.
It's called Michters
Michters.
Small
I'm
Batch.
obviously, I'm not like a huge bourbon guy, but I like to just hear some input because I'll have it now and then for sure.
We drink a lot of drop. We've gone through a case of drop time in a short period of time. I have to actually message them to see if we get some more. Because
Get some more.
but it's a good fit for the podcast because it's a buck that we could all dream of. It's a beautiful drop time buck on the bottle. So Drop Time Spirits is the company. They have a number of different spirits. The one that we care about the most is the 12-point bourbon, which is delicious. They also have a vodka, which is behind Derek, Drop Time Vodka, which is, it's interesting that their products, this is how they've done it. Corn-based vodka because deer eat corn. Apple-based moonshine because deer eat apples. 12-point bourbon because it's a beautiful buck. So like they've really tried to centralize their product around deer hunting, and they're born out of out of Wisconsin. So they're in our backyard. They're like last time I had to get bourbon, they now can no longer ship to Wisconsin even though they're here, which is really kind of weird. So I had to go to their distillery in Milwaukee and go get my case from the distillery, which is actually kind of fun to go see it being made.
So strangely enough, and I'm not gonna go into too much
You
detail
should look at the batch of the bottle.
I'm
you
not
might have
gonna-
an earlier batch because it's gotten better over time. So we have batch 1 that we have the first
Oh,
batch
it's an
I've ever
old one.
produced from
It's
like
an old one.
2020 or 2019. And now they're on, it'll tell you what batch number this is on the bottle here. Or should somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what does it
Batch
say?
number 9.
Batch number 9. So they've now like gotten to better barrels and aging. So they're hitting a different maturity level of their bourbon aging process.
Well, I was just gonna say, since
you might have a
I'm
very early
an
batch.
antler aficionado, without divulging too much information on Adam's behalf, Adam is probably one of the only people I've ever met that has a double drop tine buck.
Really? And you
hanging
just started
hanging
hunting
on his wall.
True.
That's
True.
so then you should
We'll
probably
leave it
get a
at that.
bottle of
We'll leave it at that.
of drop time 12-point bourbon. So we even met people in Iowa that like and the Wisconsin Dells at the trade shows, people that were collectors of drop time bourbon,
Of
but
all
had
bourbons.
not drinking the bourbon.
Yeah.
Drunk the bourbon? Drank the bourbon?
We met a guy who, how many bottles did that guy say he had that had something
showed me his
deer
thing.
related
It
or
was-
buck related?
Yeah, they're just collecting deer related bourbons. So then I was like, so have you not tried the bourbon? He's like, no, I haven't. I was like, well, let's do
Well,
it.
Here you go.
We got shot glasses. Let's go. And so he's like, oh, it's actually pretty
Like,
good.
I
But it
bet
tastes
it
better
looked
here.
cool.
Would have never guessed, but that one morning you decided to pour some shots at
Like
like
9 a.m.
it was like 10:30 or 10 o'clock, and you were like, "What the hell? Let's do it!" And then immediately after, you got a whole bunch of sales. We're like, "More shots!"
That was definitely a driver of sales. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's called experiential marketing for those that don't know. Highly effective for drop time spirits. They're like, so is this your company? I was like, no, I wish. I honestly, if I had the wherewithal and the capital, if there's anybody listening, they want to make an investment, I will take that investment and I will make shooter buck bourbon.
We talked about this the whole drive home from
Yes,
Iowa.
yes.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. But there's like all these liquor license issues, not license, but like you can't ship to this state, you can't ship to that state, you can't be a minor, you got to be 21. It seems complex, and I'm pretty stupid, so
Bullshit.
I can only run really simple businesses. I can't run complex alcohol businesses. So yeah, Adam, thanks for the call, man. I'm glad
Yeah,
Derek
great.
convinced you to call in.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Definitely.
Appreciate
you,
it, man.
guys.
Sorry, we did most of the talking. We just got all fired up.
No,
Camouflage,
it's
you know.
awesome. Enjoy listening to you guys. That's love it. Love the camo talk.
Yeah. Hey, thanks
the
again,
trigger-
buddy.
trigger
Makes
word.
me think of,
Just next time you see Hunter,
go
say,
ahead.
next time you see Hunter, say camouflage, and they'll get triggered.
What are your thoughts? Go.
Will do.
Camo thoughts. Go. No, that's Tubbs and I when he came down to Illinois 2 years ago, and we were stopped on a piece of public. We were going to go for a quick walk, and a car pulled in right as like we were
I've heard the
getting
story,
out.
yeah.
Yep, and we're like, well, we were just going to go scout. This guy looked like he was going to go hunting, so like, let's go talk to him. Go over and talk to him. Young guy. I mean, like I shouldn't say young, but early 20s, mid 20s, and he's got all the gear. He's got the whole First Light setup. He's got crispy boots. He's got the brand new Matthews,
Whatever it was that last year.
He's got it. He's got it all. He's got the saddle on. I think he had a Latitude saddle. He's got the climbing sticks. We're like, holy cow! Like, holy shit!
You
like,
must be an
we're
expert.
up against some competition here. And we're talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I actually just got started hunting. This is my first year." And we're like, "Holy shit!
What do you do for a living?
What
We
do
went
you-
all in.
This is like $20,000
come
worth
on.
of gear, right?" No, that's an exaggeration.
But
But it
probably like
was-
5.
It was for sure a lot of money. So we're like, you got some good gear, man. Like, good luck this season. So we traded some information, but it was like people are going hard. They're listening to
Marketing works.
yeah,
Podcast
marketing
works.
works. Yeah.
It is crazy.
It really does. And it's just crazy how many, you got to be careful not to just, like you guys are talking about, so many over-engineered things that you just don't need, or that just all of a sudden start causing more problems for you. You're like, oh, this is going to solve this problem. But guess what? It's going to create a problem here.
Yeah.
Derek, I'll be honest, that dual track site, I
Giving you a
thought that I was
nightmare?
messing around with it. Yeah. Number one, I thought that you could keep one pin fixed, but I'm looking at the engineering. I'm like, there's no way they can engineer that. They're movable, but you can adjust them, the distance apart. however you want it. I don't think the spot hog allows you to do that, like
Yeah.
you were mentioning before. I could be wrong, but I'm just sitting here. I'm like listening to a review, and here's the guy talking about, I mean, this is the greatest site ever. Like, I never have to move this site. And I'm like, it's an adjustable site. You never have to move it. Like, why don't you just get a fixed pin site? 2 sites like that. It was just the stupidest thing. And I'm like, this guy's got, I'm not going to name who it was, but he's a very smart guy. But he's like, yeah, I think he just worded it incorrectly. But the fact that he's like, I really never have to move this thing. I got one pin set, one pin at 20, one at 30. I'm like, might as well just get a fixed pin with one at 20 and one at 30
for $400.
For
$400 less.
If he's talking about splitting pins, and I'm like, this is literally introducing people that might want to try adding another pin to getting into the fixed pin industry. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm like, this is now causing more confusion to me. I'm like messing around with it. I'm like, okay, so I got one set of 21 at 30, and then I move it. Well, now it's moving up 25, and I'm not looking into the math. I don't think it moves perfectly. It might be like 25 and 37, 38 or something as you go up. But it's just, I don't know. I literally looked at it. I'm like, this is just teaching me to shoot fixed pin.
I gotta get mine. Mine's still in the package. So I'm gonna go hopefully pick up my new bow on Monday and get that sight put on it. And
give me some feedback.
I'll see what I can figure
curious.
out, and you and I might have to have a powwow and figure out what's going on here.
I'm in the industry, and I watched a hunting public video 2 years ago, and I was like, yep, I'm buying iron rail broadheads now. I bought them while I was sitting there watching the thing, and I was like, done. I mean, yeah, like you watch the right thing, and it speaks to you a certain way, and you're pulling the trigger for sure. But we're not selling shit on this podcast.
You want to buy a hat?
You want to buy a Sugar Buck hat? No, dude, we got another caller behind you, actually, so I'm going to bring on the next
thanks
caller.
a lot, Adam.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a good night, buddy.
Do it up, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Up next, we got, looks like it might be Carl. Hey, you're live on the OK Center podcast. Who do we got?
No, my name's Carl.
Hey, Carl.
How are y'all tonight?
We're good. What's going on? What do you got?
I just called to say this is my first time watching you boys, and I like how y'all stare intimately at each other's. Like, you're stalking a deer there.
That's what we do.
And I really like what kind of whiskeys you got going on there.
What's your favorite whiskey, Carl? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Louisiana.
What are you drinking? What kind of whiskey?
I'm drinking Busch Light.
That's our other drink.
It's a great light whiskey.
That's a good lightweight whiskey right there. That's our chaser. Thanks. Thanks for the call, Carl.
Could have used one.
Y'all shouldn't have shot them deer up there like that. They were just boys.
Which deer?
Both of them up there on the wall there.
Deer being deer. Yep. Thanks for the call, Carl.
All right, Dan.
Yep, appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, enjoy those Busch lattes.
Well, that was Carl from Louisiana.
Thanks for the call.
We dropped that call real quick. It could have been legit. It's hard to tell sometimes. We haven't gotten a prank call in like 3 years.
I almost thought that was Greg Tubbs calling him, but I don't think it was.
It seems semi-legit. YouTube, we have an interesting reach on YouTube. So I really don't know. But I take every call. I'll take them all.
Just remember, this is the Okayest Hunter podcast. We have a 2-point shed as the logo. So, almost just said something I totally was going to regret. Did you know what I was about to say?
No, it got real weird. Oh, we got to bring this caller on, though. This is AJ damn it, AJ.
Kazmarek.
I can't say your last name properly.
Kazmarek.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey there.
What's up? What do you want to talk about?
How you guys doing?
We're good. You want to talk about camos? Or you want to talk about bear archery?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Are you good? You got us?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you guys. How's everything going, fellas?
We're like
going great, buddy.
3 whiskeys deep right now, or bourbon, whatever you want to call this, brown water.
This camo.
I love it. I was just scrolling on Facebook. I saw you guys were live, and you ought to know better than to throw up a phone number for me to call.
That's how we roll, bro. You know.
What's good with you? What are you up to?
Well, right now I finally got my lovely pregnant woman to The Walking Dead, so we're watching that.
Nice.
I was
That's what you want to watch when you're pregnant.
watching some.
Just blasting zombies.
Oh yeah, watching some deer hunting before she got home, and we got a bowl of strawberries in front of us, and just wrapped up a really successful weekend out at Total Archery Challenge.
Nice. Where was that one?
This past weekend was over in Seven Springs, Pennsylvania, and up until this coming Utah Total Archery Challenge, the Pennsylvania one will be the largest pack ever at over 4,500 people.
Wow, that's insane.
Damn, dude, that's a lot of arrows.
Wow.
Oh, it was a blast, and the carnage was unbelievable for the arrows.
Hopefully Isaac's doing well. Method.
Yeah. There was a lot of arrows being flung around, let me tell you.
That's great.
Isaac said it's like selling shoes to marathon runners at a marathon. They come
already
with their
got 'em.
shoes. They already got them. But honestly, it's one of those things where it's awareness, and you're not always gonna just get sales at these types of things. But dude, I would love to go to TAC.
yeah,
I wish there was one in Wisconsin because I can't get out much. Just can't.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it's an ever-expanding event, and, there's all kinds of them all over the place. There's a lot of people that actually rope in family vacations. So I know for a fact a lot of the Big Sky, Montana attendees, they'll do like a week-long family vacation out in Big Sky, and they'll just finish it off with going to Total Archery Challenge, and then they'll head home. So maybe you can kind of swing that aspect in there.
Yeah, I've tried that.
It's all about marketing.
I've tried that angle.
It's all about marketing, Eric.
I was like, great, yeah. Like, I'll come to your trade show with you. That's gonna go over like a lead balloon. She's like, so I'm gonna be stuck in a hotel room without any tools, resources, toys, books, playrooms,
For
with 3 kids
12
by
hours?
myself at a water park. Are you kidding me? She's like, not
Oh
happening.
no, we'll get them out. We'll get them out on the mountain, hiking around. Basically, we'll just let them hike around enough so that when they get done, they immediately fall asleep. And then you guys are free to do whatever you want.
That's fair, but I would argue, have you ever seen an overtired kid? They go into turbo mode. It's
No,
not like
I'll
they
give
don't
you
get
that.
sleepy.
I
They
actually
get
witnessed
psycho.
it for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep, I witnessed it for the first time this weekend because my cousin brought his whole family. We had an absolute blast.
That's good.
But those kids, once they hit that tired mode, man, it's a different setting on them for sure.
Yeah, it's like they got broken. Mike Nutter just commented, said it was awesome. That Hoyt course was tough. I wouldn't know. I imagine everything would be tough for me, but you did, AJ, help me pick out my bow that I just got not that long ago, that I just got kind of figured out and dialed in a little bit. I got the Bear Legend XR, and I just got my new arrows from Method last week. So I'm hoping this weekend I can get to the archery shop to fling a few. I have to get a new tape on my single pin sight, my HHA single pin. What is it called?
After you get that set up, do you have the Tetra?
The Tetra. No.
should-
What's the good one? Is that the Tetra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
You just move it a little bit, like it rotates, like a dial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
I
that's-
love it, dude.
We should go fling some at
We can go to
Horicon.
Horicon Marsh. Yeah.
Yeah, after this weekend.
I can bring some kids to that. I can at least bring 1 or 2 children to that.
I'll bring my children. We'll have tons of children.
Yeah.
Tons of children.
We're
Bring
not
all
going to have them together, but we already have them. We'll
Well, that's
bring
not
them.
possible, Eric.
It's a new world, It's a new day and age. You don't know what you're going to get. So anyway, AJ, thank you, because at ATA in January, you helped me figure this whole thing out.
Sorry,
man.
AJ.
We're having a night.
Hey, I was going to let you guys roll. I was just kind of hanging back thinking, do they even need me for this?
I call in for. I was eating strawberries with my wife watching Walking Dead. I called into this shit.
Pretty nice little
Well,
Tuesday.
actually, you guys were talking on speakerphone, and now my wife is curious. How many kids y'all got?
Between the two of us, we got 5.
Yes.
I got 3. Derek's got
All right,
2.
Yep.
And mine are all under the age of 5.
My son is 6.
Well,
my
I don't
daughter's
know.
about to be
I was going
4.
to say, I don't know if you guys just saw my recent post yet, but definitely get a bow in those kids' hands, man. Get it passed down to the next generation.
Dude, so my daughter's semi-interested. She's mostly only interested when I do what's called cookies and deer. And cookies and deer means I can convince her to watch deer hunting videos with me if I bake her cookies and we do it together. So that's cookies and deer. My son, my middle son, who's 3, turning 4, he is obsessed. He actually, I just cut the cord on like a duck hunt, like old Nintendo shotgun, and he's like, "Dad, this is my deer gun." And so I pulled up. He wanted to watch bear hunting videos on YouTube last night. I pulled up bear hunting videos on YouTube, and he's blasting bears with this fake gun, putting them in the sights.
Dude, Logan is showing me some of her.
I love it.
Eric's daughter is showing me.
Your daughter and yours deal. That just sounds like father-daughter bonding.
Oh, it is for sure. I'm getting what I want. She gets what she wants. It's like total. But I also want the cookies too. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, what were you gonna say, Derek? I
was gonna say Logan was telling me about some pictures she drew, and I asked her favorite color. She said blue. And I said, Dane, what's your favorite color? And he goes, camo. And I was like, my guy.
Of course he did. Yeah, and my other one's too young. He's 1, so he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He doesn't even know what's up or down.
He's having fun,
like
no matter
jumping
what.
off a tall shit, trying to break his legs.
I love it. Well, fellas, I won't take up too much more of your time. I'm also getting that look from the wife, like she wants to keep watching zombies. So
yeah, but you had to pause zombies to call into this.
You enjoy those strawberries, buddy.
Get some whipped cream out.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate what you're doing for the industry. Keep up the good work.
Thanks,
Have a good night, buddy.
I think that might be it for callers for the moment. Those 3.
Well, that was a nice little mix of callers.
Carl, thanks for the call. I think if you're still listening, I don't ever want to offend anybody. You just never know. It just seemed peculiar. Like it felt a little bit like a prank call.
It's tough to say.
It's really hard to know.
As soon as Louisiana came in the mix, it's tough to say.
West Virginia would be another one. No offense, West Virginians. There's a certain part of West Virginia that would make me feel a little sketched out, like the banjo part of that state.
The banjo part? Feel that part?
Squeal like a pig.
When you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a wrap. I think we'll call it.
Whew.
Thanks for tuning in. I think I have some outro music.
Yeah, hit the outro.
I don't know which one it is. Which one is it?
Let's get this thing going.
That ain't it. This is the weird one that I like to do. Foam Fest is just about finalized. I know I talked last week about getting that figured out.
Still no word.
I'm talking with them yesterday into today. I think we have a good path forward. I need to just review it, make sure it's all kosher, and I'm pretty sure by the end of this week we'll have the event page up, and we'll get turning and burning on that.
If you're thinking about coming to Foam Fest, do what AJ was just talking. Turn it into a family vacation.
It's kid-centric. Like, this is one where we encourage you to bring your family. Like,
yeah.
There will be activities for children.
There's camping, potentially.
Camping for sure.
Yes.
Potentially a shed hunt for the youth.
I'm gonna bring a moose antlers this
sensory
time
bins, archery, coloring books, shed hunt. Obviously, fresh air and a 3D archery course. It should be good.
It'll be fun. You should do it.
Good vendors there. Your ticket purchase will likely include free food, a beer, and undecided. We got to figure out the raffle stuff depending on what we're getting for prizes. I'm talking to all of the different companies in the category space
if it's
hunting.
Anything like last year, you had awesome prizes with a very limited number of people.
Yeah,
so your odds
if you're watching
fantastic.
Live, this is one of them. It's a bear. We have 2 of these. I should get the pink. We have a pink one. We have a pink and a bottomland camo Fred Bear or Bear Archery ready to hunt RTH means out of the box.
And we'll have to do it a little bit different because cat's out of the bag. Like last year, we had 2 bows to give away.
Yes.
One was random.
Yes, one was the worst score.
And
we are doing it different this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you can't don't go out there and shoot a shit score expecting to win a new bow. But last year, that's what we did. Yeah. It was like you're gonna award the top score. No. Let's give the lowest score person a new bow.
Yeah.
And it was your friend who was so excited. He was like, can we set it up? And we set it up in the back. It was amazing.
And he shot the course and he did great. He didn't lose a single arrow. So
super cool.
Pretty cool. Ready to hunt really is pretty legit. So there's 2 of those we're giving away and then a bunch of other stuff from some all the partners you hear us talk about. So Latitude, Spartan Forge, Method, Go Wild, and then some. So stay tuned. We'll keep you guys posted. That's where I'm going to end the podcast, I guess, because I feel like I should talk about that. And I don't have anything else for now. And I'm not going to play the music again. But good night.
Bye.
Bye.